happening, people? Welcome back to the Brothers Geek Out channel. We've got another episode for you on the Brothers Geek Out podcast. Two brothers geeking out, giving you our thoughts on what's happening in the world of pop culture, movies, comic books, real world issues, all that sort of stuff. Just giving you our thoughts. Guys, as usual, please check the description if you don't want to hear about our updates, what we've been up to, our thoughts on real world issues. Check the description. It's got the timestamp of Geek Out News start now. You could just click that. It takes you straight to the Geek Out News. So you don't have to hear us talk about what we've been up to and real world issues. But if you do want to hear about that stuff, then just stay here and then hear us talk about that stuff. On that note, joined by Kibbs, as usual. What's happening, Kibbs? How you doing, man?
Good, bro. It's been again tough week, work and dramas and all sorts. Nia's not well. It's that time where everybody's catching bugs as well. I've got it. Everybody's got it in the house. Alara's been all right. She's just got a runny nose, but she's been jokes recently. She's been good. What else, man? You know what? Just trying to keep up with day-to-day stuff. I know fasting's been quite easy this year around, but it's just trying to keep the kids in routine as well. And I think where before it was all right, we used to moan about just us fasting. I think it's on a different level now when you're fasting with kids and trying to keep up with them as well. But I hope everybody is enjoying the fasting month as well. I haven't watched much only because I've been fasting. I'm at Ghostbusters later on tonight. I didn't want to go because I've been keeping up. I'll have to come home, cover prayers and stuff like that. But as you said, well, as you know, it's always hard to get these opportunities. I've got to be in the good books. And I do want to see it, I'm not gonna lie. I do want to see it, I do want to enjoy it. So I've got that later on. So any breaking my fast while the film's on.
Popcorn, but are you gonna get any food or you gonna break it with popcorn?
Nah, popcorn and water, bro. And then I'll come back home and eat. But it depends. Let's see what happens. It's gonna be rush. It's got a busy one. I got nothing else. I haven't been able to go train. Oh man, it's been full on. Been trying to keep up on just reading every day, which is the Quran, which is good. I did miss out yesterday though. Yesterday we had a tough evening. But other than that, just trying to get through day by day, man. I know it's neurodiversity week as well, and I've been sharing stories about how dyslexia is a superpower. It helps us do things in different ways, and I suppose that's where we all kind of shine is that where before we felt like outsiders. And I just want to give my message out there that people suffer any type of neurodiversity is that it's your superpower, man. Trust me, it's a different way you see the world, like I do, like Gilman does, like my brother does, like everybody else who's probably got it in our family anyway. They see the world in a different way, and don't ever feel like you're an outcast. Don't ever feel like that. I feel like we grew up in an era where people didn't understand it much, and our older generation didn't understand what this kid's got ADHD or whatever, and this and that. And it's all labels, It's never stopped us from getting what we want to get. There's always ways of dealing with it and embracing it, I suppose. I was speaking to Sasa yesterday about him passing on those comic books to us, like they saved my life. I found my way to. I was creative from a young age, but I didn't know how to output it. And comic books help do that. So, and of course, Sasa doing all the drawings as well. But for me to output that, what was that like for me to translate my feelings and how I feel onto a piece of paper, which has now gone on to different levels. So shout out to those guys. You're not alone. You always have a place. I think that's the problem. People put labels on stuff and displace us, which is the wrong thing to do, but it's just the way society and some places work. But we all the same, man. Everybody has something, but it doesn't mean that it's something that's going to bring you down. So yeah, neurodiversity week. I'll be posting stuff all week about how I keep myself organized and how I try and keep on top of things. Don't beat yourself up when you can't get something done. It's the way. Some things can't get done. I've been looking at this damp spot because we've got a hole in the roof near the door in the front, and it's just leaking through. Looks butters. I've been looking at it for 2 weeks now. I've been looking at it. I stare at it like a kingpin and go into a daze. And then she's like, you're going to do anything? And I was like, I can't bother, man. It's so high up. I feel like I'm gonna drop up. Like I feel like it's not fair, but it's like so long because I know I need a good couple of hours to concentrate on it. And I think that's when neurodiversity and dyslexia or any type of ADHD or OCD or something that you suffer, it's hard to concentrate on the one thing. We tend to expand into multitasking a lot. So I do a bit of this, do a bit of that, do a bit of this, do not finally finish something. So like that's my issue. I find it hard. I always, what's it, half job? I'm half job. I do something halfway and then leave it. I come back to it a couple of weeks later. So yeah, listen, more stuff to come. Keep an eye on our pages, guys. We're sharing loads of stuff on our pages. Thanks you for the lovely messages. But yeah, let's continue, bro. We got quite a little bit. We've got some real cool stuff to talk about as well
We
because I
do some
was
reactions.
happy,
I know it's been a good
happy
week.
guy yesterday.
I mean, look, before we get into it, just I wanted to touch on, like, first of all, like, yes, Uncle's been such a big influence. I mean, I'm a massive Punisher fan, and I feel like it comes from him because he was a Punisher fan.
Mhm.
And he shared comics with me, but I couldn't read. I still can't read. As you guys who watch the podcast know, when it comes to names, I don't even know why I try, but I can't read. It's just facts. And what you mentioned about the multitasking, I was talking about it last week a little bit. My attention span. That's why reading books is very hard. Even reading a full comic is hard to keep my attention fully on it, which is why I read one page at a time. I got Audibles, so I listen to Audibles and whatnot, which helps me a lot with reading books and stuff or listening to books. And then with the multitasking, like I said to you last week, everything I do as a I multitask, be it physically and mentally or mentally and physically together. I don't do one thing at a time. Like I said, even if I'm taking a shit, I got a podcast on. So I'm physically taking a shit. Mentally, I'm listening to, but I just can't. Even taking the shower, washing a car, cleaning a statue, whatever. I have something. My brain functioning as well, right? Listening to it. It's just the way I am now. After talking to my therapist, and I need to learn how to rest because I don't rest. And then when I really think about being activated physically and mentally throughout the moment I wake up to the end when I try to sleep. And the fact is I don't even sleep, which is why I'm working on rest, learning how to rest. Is because I don't sleep well. And I really looked at my day and I'm like, wow, like minute to minute, I am on the next thing. I'm on the next thing, be it from work. And like I said, even if I take a break, I'm activating myself. I'm listening to something. I'm whatever, like watching movies and TV. It's still activating the brain. Like there's never a moment where you like just sit on the bed or your sofa and just like breathe for like 10 minutes or whatever. That don't happen. And I just feel like my mentality is like, that's just a waste of time. Like I could just chill and play games or something, or I could chill and watch a movie or listen to a podcast instead of just sitting. But I think there's an importance to just rest and switching off. And I don't do that. Switching off doesn't mean like, again, active, like it means non-activation of anything, just concentrating on your breathing, your mind will, and I'm not talking about yoga breathing or any box breathing, I'm talking about just breathe, just chill and breathe normal. And just try not to activate your brain or thinking of stuff like groceries or whatever. Just chill. So that's me. I'm fully multitask dude, bro. That's me. And that I think this dyslexia thing. Obviously, I've never been officially diagnosed, but the fact that I can't read to this day and spell. And I used to be very embarrassed about it. Like I said, when you're in school, bro, and the English teacher picks you to read out of class, my God, it's the most
That was wrong
nerve-wracking
what they
thing.
did there.
I know. I
That
mean,
was
I don't
wrong.
know if it was wrong. I don't know if it's wrong, but I think there's a way they could do it better because kids are mean. So when you can't say a word, kids laugh at you. The teachers correct you. And I remember certain teachers, if I was like, if there was a big word and I would like, when you'd be like, for
Kind of
example, there's
break
a
it.
word here, commandant. And then the teacher would be like, oh, good. That's a bit of encouragement. But your freaking friends are laughing at you. That's the trauma. Your
F you, Dwayne.
peers.
F you, Dwayne, bro.
Yeah, your peers are laughing at you, right? So that's a bit of trauma. And I think that's why I've always been scared talking in public. Also, the way I talk a certain
Yeah.
way. Obviously, we're all individuals and there is no right way of talking. The fact is, there is no, you are who you are. You are who your environment is. Where your environment is how you talk, your accent, your lingo, your vocabulary, the way you express your words is a manufacture of your upbringing and where you're brought up and also. Working in the corporate world for the longest time, I was so insecure about talking the way I talk. But now I've built and then things have changed as well a little bit, but I've built the confidence to be myself. So when I'm on conference calls now, I talk the way I talk. Obviously, I don't swear and whatnot, but I talk the way I talk. I don't try to sound, but I don't try to sound like the queen. You know what I mean? Like, you know what I mean? I'm not saying no one else should. I'm just saying there was always this perception, this is the way you're supposed to talk. I just talk the way I talk now, and I don't really care about what anyone says. And you know what? It's accepted now. And once you build that confidence, you have to learn, you'll learn. Actually, people do accept you for who you are. It's you yourself who's not accepting you for who you are. And that's what the problem is. Like, you got to really love yourself. And I have a problem with that. And that's what I'm really learning about myself. But actually, people do accept you. I know there's this whole corporate world and this whole whatever, but individuals actually do accept you for you. Just be yourself. And that's something I'm learning about. And it's about, accepting yourself. But yeah, look, I wanted to touch on that and the influence that our parents had on us, man, because as you said, man, I'm not creatively with like art and whatnot, but I feel like I'm creative with my body. I love martial arts. I love training. I love learning about training. I do so many different exercises about trying to build. I'm a skinny guy.
But that's your output though. That's what I'm
Yeah,
saying.
exactly.
Like, people have their
I'm
different
creative.
outputs. So.
Exactly. I'm creative in that sense. Yeah. I'm always going to be the skinny kid, and I'm happy with that. I've learned to accept that. Martial arts has helped me to learn to accept that. But doing different kind of exercises, which help with longevity, which help with strength, which help all that sorts of conditioning, cardio, the martial arts itself. I mean, always being a skinny Indian, well, sorry, that's what I was called, skinny Indian kid, being insecure about that. Man, just the martial art. Yesterday I was wrestling with this teenager kid, man, energy and bigger than me, at least 10 kgs bigger than me. But the fact is, he didn't know anything. He was kind of new to the class, first couple of classes. So we were told to spar during Ramadan. It's not easy, man, but the coaches are like, let's go. They're all Muslim anyway, so they're sparring and everything. So anyway, the ability I have against someone who's at least 10 kgs heavier than me, who doesn't have the same martial arts, again, physical, not just the knowledge, but the physical abilities. Man, I have control. It's crazy to think, but I have control over these human beings who are younger and bigger than me. And this is something that again, martial arts has helped me with, and I never had when I was in school. But I remember in school, man, people just pick me up and throw me, and I just didn't know what to do. You try to use your strength that you don't have, but just knowing martial arts, jiu-jitsu, wrestling, and whatnot, man, just taking certain angles, using my head, turning the corners, whatever it is, to just control another human being, and they can't get off you, and they're bigger than you, and they're younger than you. I'm like, this is why I do it, even though I get smashed. But when I get smashed by someone who's bigger and is also skilled. But going up against someone who's bigger and doesn't know what they're doing, I could truly express myself in a good form. And I got a little freaking, my guy, the thing about beginners, what happens is they freak out. Not in a bad way, they just freak out, trying to use strength and whatever they do. My guy elbowed me right in my eye, man. So I've got a little makeup, a little bruise here and whatnot. But I'm able to stay controlled because I'm like, I know what a white belt's like. You guys freak out. It's cool. Just be careful, bro. I'm not gonna kill you. I promise you. I will let go of the choke. I'll let go of the arm. Whatever. I'm not looking to do that. But yeah, no, I mean, martial arts came, sorry, I went on a tantrum, but man, we were influenced by martial arts, not just by the legends, but my dad, man. Dad took us to karate class. Dad he let us watch martial art movies. We fell in love with Jackie Chan, Jet Li, Bruce Lee, Sammo Hung, Young Bu, all them guys, right? And that's been my thing. You know, I'm trying to say your thing has been art, and my thing has been art in the martial arts, in the physical side. And I think,
exactly.
It's so important that, when you say you're not alone, you individuals, you have your thing. It doesn't have to be what we're doing. It is what your thing is. You gotta go out and there and find it. When I say find it, it's what you love. It's what you enjoy. It's what you feel like, man, if I don't do this, I won't be happy. If I don't do this, like, I feel like something's missing. And that's how I am with martial arts. Like, I have slowed down a lot, and I do take more breaks just because of my body, but I will never ever stop. And I know without it, I won't feel happy. So, yeah, guys, just find your thing, and whatever it is, love it, man. If you love doing it, don't care about anyone. Do your thing. Don't be embarrassed by it.
Do your thing, yeah, exactly. I think that's the most important part, is be you.
Be you.
Be you.
Always. All right. Let's get into it. There's been some exciting stuff, but as always, we've got to touch on quickly real world issues. Of course, free Palestine. Of course, we mentioned before we've been censored, and I've been looking into the numbers a little bit, and what it is we're blocked from everyone outside of our subscribers. So remember, Kibbs used to say 70% of our users who used to watch our videos were not subscribers. What I've noticed is our subscriber number hasn't dropped. In fact, it's increased, but our views has dropped. So and we've lost at least 70% of our views. So what it is, they've censored us to just our subscriber base, and we're not able to reach anyone outside of our subscriber base. Cool. We're still going to be talking about it. I think it's important to not forget about our brothers and sisters in Palestine. And again, there is loads of real world issue. And one of the Zionist argument points is, why don't you talk about all the other real world issues? Not for us, I'm talking about in general. Like, why is the world talking about Palestine, but they're not? The world is talking about other issues. The media coverage never talks about it. You should remember that, right?
Exactly.
There is protests going on about Nigeria and Congo and Sudan and Afghanistan. There was protests going on. The media will never cover it. That's why you don't know those things are happening. Now, the social media has changed things. And yes, there's a big thing with Gaza. One of the big things with Palestine, and the reason why individuals like us and maybe the world gets involved, is because the superpower of the world is funding this, right? And we pay tax monies to one of the superpowers. I guess the UK is a superpower. I don't know if it is anymore, but US people get involved because they pay their cent. 1 cent is in that dollar that goes towards arms that kills babies and women and innocent people in Palestine. So there's a big thing there, but the world sees that the fact of the matter is this is the final settler colonialism project that they're trying to do, but it's in the real age, and you can't. We're supposed to be civilized, guys. We're not supposed to do that stuff anymore. So that's why the world is kind of speaking out. It's like, no, excuse me, Mr. Westerner person, that happened in the past. It's cool. We gotta let it be. Not in today's day and age, because if it was a group of Muslims, a group of Black people, a group of Chinese people, whatever, you're gonna be like, no, Russia. Everyone was against Russia. Oh no, you're not allowed to do that. But when the West does it, and is continuously doing it, it's okay. No, that's why the world is speaking out to say, no, it's not okay for you. It's not okay for anyone in the world to do it. And just because you are the West, it's not okay for you to do it. So that's why the global world is speaking out as well. Because you're trying to do something that we don't, as civilized human beings, should not do. And also we have double standards, because if anyone else tried to do it, Russia as an example, and that's a whole thing. So don't, one of the Zionist talking points, why does everyone care? That's one of the reasons. Now listen, Mark Lamont Hill just released a video literally on that, and I got a lot of this information from him. So listen to Mark Lamont Hill on that. Listen to Norman Finkelstein. I listened to that 5-hour debate with Norman Finkelstein, and there was a few other people, forgive me, I forget their names, but from both sides, that was hosted by why have I forgot his name?
I think I saw some of that debate, which was really good, bro.
Yeah, really, really good. I literally watched the whole 5 hours, man. I forgot his name. Lex Friedman podcast. Check it out.
That's right. Yeah.
Great debate. It gets heated at some points, but yeah, there's some great historians and whatnot on that podcast. Do check it out. It's heartbreaking still what's going on. The truth is coming out. Some media publications are pushing that the ethnic cleansing is happening, the starvation that is happening to the Palestinian people. Not that they're starving, they are being starved. It's all coming out. I mean, listen, what if anything the fact that it's coming out is one thing. The world is speaking out. Okay, what can happen? I don't know. And that's the fact of the matter is,
the thing is, I think
the US's fault. When I say it's their fault, so because they're funding it, they're the superpower. They could stop. They can stop everything by saying we're not funding you no more. Because Canada just stopped funding, sending military to Israel. US can do the same, but they're choosing not.
They've left it too late. They've left it too late. Project. 6 months. Yeah, 6 months out. They've left it too late. They all have these amazing words that they say. No action. They're basic, bro. Totally. That's all we can say. They've left it way too long. Left it way too long. Like, to get to that point, they have left it way too late. It's such a shame, because you got this crazy guy. Everybody knows what's happening, and I think that's why the media is swifting over slowly. But like, they've left it way too late, and people will pay for it. And the thing is, now that's against everybody in so-called power. They're not. They're puppets There's more people working in the background. There's always something else. It's a business war. Yeah, they're way too late right now. Way too late.
And
Whatever they suddenly
you
go
mentioned
on.
something about business war. This is why, and I listened to that guy, Middle Nation, the guy I talk about, he sounds like Malcolm X. He mentioned something about the boycotting, and this is how important boycotting is. Like McDonald's lost like 7 billion. Starbucks has lost a couple of billion. And what his perspective is like, what you're trying to show is when you're boycotting, and that's what we could do is like, not just this war, but that government who's causing this war and those terrorists who are causing this war, they're bad for business. Then you're letting all the corporations around the world know that they're bad for business. Now, do we want to support them? Do you know what I'm saying? Like, if you want to support them, all right, support them. But you're going to be boycotted and you're going to lose big business. Now, they're bad for business. This war and killing and genocide of the Palestinian people is bad for business. Do you want that to carry on? And that's an important thing, man, because the world runs on money and business, right?
Oh yeah, of course.
So if we as the people boycott these companies as much as possible, let them lose as much business, we're showing them, this is where we can stand up, we're showing them that this is bad for your business. So if you want this to stop, you put a stand, you stop supporting them, you stop supporting the genocide. So I like that perspective because some people don't believe in the boycott and whatnot. Don't get me wrong, some people might slip here and there, but it's important to understand that there's a perspective to it. You want to show them that, you know, if you don't support the stop of genocide, the stop of people being killed, then it's bad for your business. It's bad for a global business.
Of course it is.
Shout out to
Think about it, yeah.
the Houthis, the Yemen, but that's what they showed. Oh, this is bad. We're gonna stop. Listen, we're protesting against the genocide to show the world that this is bad for your business. So we're gonna stop all the shipping containers. And I think they expanded their thing to the Indian Ocean as well. Like it is bad for the global business, and that's what the world is showing. And again, this is us doing stuff without killing people, right? I know the Houthis unfortunately killed some people, but minimal, right? We're doing this without killing people, without going to war. So, you know, just wanted to make that point.
No, listen, bro, it's important, bro. Listen, past 6 months since it all started, bro. McDonald's, Costa, Starbucks, they would have got at least minimum £500 out of me in the last 6 months. Guaranteed. Takeaways. But we're so... That's £500 I've earned back now, I realise. You know what I mean? So people need to know that. Like, listen.
Or £500, you support local businesses.
Exactly. 100%. 100%. And that's what we've been doing. We've been shopping at the local Turkish store. Stuff like that. Like little things like that make a massive difference, man. You know what I mean? And that will become the norm after. And I think people are starting to see that a little bit more. And I'm glad because, like, you know, some people tried to out me the other day because of my thoughts and what I believe in. And people keep saying, you know, we a terrorist state and all the rest of it. I don't know where your guys' minds are at. Seeing kids die, seeing people starve, and people are telling me you should just shut yourself away from that. You're nuts, man. That's how selfish a lot of people are, and I can totally understand that. You got your own issues and stuff, and I have as well. But the fact to tell me about my beliefs and that I should forget about it and just keep moving on, I wanted to. I really wanted to give one of those elbows that Arnold Schwarzenegger elbows from True Lies to that person that said that to me. But
True Lies, you know, which one was that?
You remember, you know, where Bill Paxton in the car talking about things in his wife, and he was like,
"Oh yeah." He imagined it, bro.
He didn't really do it, but I just imagine it. Bro, I really hurt my hamstrings on my leg at gym the other day.
Oh, I thought that elbow, I thought the action messed you up.
No. Yeah, but listen, I'm gonna stand up. I don't care if I lose sponsorship deals or all the rest of it. We've been already censored. It doesn't really bother me. We still have the people that really want to listen to us, watch us, which is the main important part because we have a message to put out there. I do not want my kids growing up saying, Dad, what did you do? Did you do anything? And Alara's already starting to ask questions. She's 5 years old. She is 5 years old. And, you know, there's songs about Palestine and she's like, what's happening? How come they don't have a home? How come they don't have a food? heartbreaking to try and tell a
Mm.
5-year-old that like this is what human beings do to each other. Human beings do to each other. That's what I'm trying to say. Everybody's like pro-Israeli, pro-Palestinian, pro-Muslim, pro-Christian. It's not about that, guys. I don't know why we've been painted with this brush. You know what I mean? Even I've noticed it with little things. You know, we were there's a couple of collaborations that were going to come up. People are really silent, bro. You know, people don't really engage with me as like they used to, but it doesn't really bother me. You know, the people that are going to stay in contact with me are the people that actually believe in what I do, which is all the people that sent those messages saying, you know, make sure you stand your ground, you know, and trust me, your kids will be proud of you one day saying that you did take part in it. So, but it's a shame, like there's a lot of people in there that can make a massive difference. They have a platform and they don't speak about it because they think they're going to lose followers, likes, views. And that's what people's main focus has become. And it's
Well,
such a shame, bro.
they will. They will. But that's what it is. That's what's making them not say it, because they don't want to lose that stuff. And as you
The
mentioned, like,
materialistic side of things, bro.
yeah,
That's the hard part. And I think when you detach yourself from that, you see the world in a different way. And I think comics really have shown that as well. Like X-Men especially, and we're gonna deep dive into that them episodes later, bro. But anyway, let's continue.
no, I
Listen, my
know.
prayers go out to the people of Palestine, Sudan, Congo, Yemen. You know, these countries have been destroyed by big powers, bullies, motherfucking bullies. Astaghfirullah, astaghfirullah,
Oh,
astaghfirullah.
no, yeah, bro, that language. I fail so many times not to swear, but
Astaghfirullah,
I
astaghfirullah.
know, I know.
Cut this part out, bro. So nobody sees that. But yeah, I pray for you guys. If you go to the links in our bios on us on our social media pages, please donate. Do what you can to help. I'm gonna put a few more links for all the other countries as well. Listen, they're all suffering. Everybody's suffering. So we can only do so much as we can. I'm fasting this month, so my lunch money is going to the
That's
people of
it.
Palestine. You
I
know what I
I
mean?
say
So
this with the donations, man. If you can, what I do, like the money that you're saving on not spending on Starbucks and all them, look, give it to the donation.
yeah,
Like,
yeah, yeah,
like
yeah, yeah.
even £5 a month, I know it sounds like we're a charity thing, but oh, just £2 a month. Honestly, it's nothing. When I just put £2 aside or a day or whatever it is, like, oh, that's nothing. Let me just give it. You know what I'm trying to say? So,
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
guys, really
exactly.
think about. I just wanted to touch on just two more things on this, and then we'll move on if cool, if possible. One, I think like this is what us regular, you know, when you ask like what can regular people do, like this is what regular people can do, like the
Yeah.
boycotting and spreading the message and donating, because that's what you can do. You can spread that message, you can make people aware. That's why my Instagram's full of it, because the mainstream news will never give everyone the real news, and they've been losing on that through the social media and whatnot. And that's why it's important for us to post that messages out there. It doesn't matter how many followers you've got, just because it might give some real news and some new real perspective to some people who never see it. And also, you know, that's why they're banning. You've seen this whole thing about the banning TikTok in the US. It's got nothing to do with Chinese data and all that. It's all got to do with this. It's all got to do because a lot of young people, young generation are learning about the real history and what is actually happening and seeing this genocide happening live on TikTok. And they want to take control of that so they can censor that. So they're losing that information war. They're losing that information war. And that's why they're trying to buy TikTok. It's got nothing to do with Chinese data and all that. They're stealing your data anyway. Everyone's stealing your data, not just the Chinese. So
Exactly.
that's all bullshit. Oh, excuse my language, astaghfirullah. And then
That's
lastly, I just
definitely.
want to say for us, for not speaking up, bro, look at us, man. We're superhero guys, man. We talk, our podcast is all about superheroes. We love comic books. We are not superheroes. I don't have powers. I wish I did. But if we believe in this whole superhero way and just doing the right thing, if I believe in Captain America who just wants to do the right thing, how could I not speak up and say free Palestine or let's not kill innocent people, guys? Like let's put the how could I not? How could I be so hypocritical as a superhero fan? How could I believe in Superman and the way of justice? And then when something bad is happening in the world, I can't do a simple thing of just saying, guys, this is what's happening. Like, here's a message. Like, I'm spreading the message. I'm gonna boycott. I'm gonna charity. Like, as a superhero fan, it just goes. In my opinion, so it's my opinion. If I believe in these characters and I really have a connection with them, even this guy here who has the wrong methods, I admit, but he does what he thinks is necessary to help innocent people. Right, the
Yeah, yeah.
Punisher I'm talking about, right? He wants the bad guys off the street so they cannot hurt the innocent people. Now his philosophies are wrong, I'm just saying, but I just believe, you know, for us to not talk about it, it not just goes us against us as being human beings and all stuff, which is obviously the main thing, but our whole superhero belief, and when I say belief, like fandom and believing in these characters and loving the overcoming adversities and just loving the fact that these superheroes do the right thing, you know, they're the hero and they fight the villain always, and they always eventually win. How could we not? That would be so hypocritical, in my opinion. That's just my opinion. I wanted to put that out there. But guys, Free Palestine, my Jewish brothers and sisters who are protesting as well, like, you know,
Exactly.
we speak for you too. Your religion has been hijacked, and we're going to speak for you and speak up for you as well. But there's loads of you, like the Jewish Voice of Peace and whatnot on Instagram. Follow them as well. The real Jewish brothers and sisters, like we speak for you too. We're gonna, you know, your religion should be free as well from this Zionist movement. And guys, donate, please. They need help. All right, moving on, guys. Moving on. Guys, I have to start with like things we watched, right? We're moving on to things we watched. Since we're on the topic, I have to start off with this first, right? We'll get into the exciting stuff in a bit, bro. I watched Zone of Interest. And listen, after the director made that speech, Jonathan Glazer, in the Oscars, that very powerful and courageous speech, I had to watch the movie. He sold it to me. And bro, what he said and what this movie represents, the dehumanization of people, oh my God, he represents it so well in this movie. And I could see one, why he made this movie, and two, he had to make the speech, and why people think of Gaza. Because if you watch it, bro, and listen, guys, I'm being honest, this movie is very, very boring. And I tell you why it's boring. Because it shows the regular life of this commander and his family, and how he's trying to give his family, the best life and the best house, right next to the Auschwitz concentration camp, right next to it. That's the wall right there. I'm living this beautiful life with my statues. I'm doing this podcast. Right there is the Auschwitz, I hope I'm saying that right, concentration camp. And we know through history, we know as a fact that the horrendous atrocities that happen in that concentration, men, women, and children. Disgusting on what happened there. And throughout this movie, the reason why I say it's boring is because you're watching this family live a normal life. I'm talking about a scene where they go into bed. And you know, when you go to bed, you check all the doors are locked, you make sure all the lights are off. Simple things like that. This is how these people are living. And this is what he's trying to express through this movie, that the dehumanization of human beings is so, as a cancer in your brain, that you can live your life like that. The windows are open sometimes and they hear screams and they're like, oh, just close the window, it's okay. Fires are going off, gunshots, people are screaming, I'll just close the window, it's okay. The kids are having fun in their pool. And when I mean the wall is there, boys, it's your back garden, literally, it's your wall there. And they just program the kids and brainwash the kids that don't worry about what's happening. They have guests over. Guests, oh, this is my flower here. Oh, is that the wall? Is that the actual? Yeah, that's the camp over there. Don't worry about it. That's how much, when you've dehumanized a group of people, it's disgusting. It's a cancer to your brain that you can live that kind of life when murderous millions and hundreds of... Bro, there was a scene, I couldn't even believe it. They were just having this strategy meeting on how many human beings they could burn. Oh, you could do 500 here, and then you do here, and then you could get another 500 here. I'm like, they're so casually talking about it, which is like, and we know this is what happened. This is history, and he really expresses that in this movie. That's why I said the movie's boring, because you're watching people just living a general life. But when you know what's happening, there's this sense of you're captivated on, like, how are you living this life when you know that's happening? That's what captivates you in the movie. That's the message that he was trying to spread. And that's why it was so important that he said, and he was so brave to say that message of what's happening in Gaza, because that's exactly what's happening in Gaza right now. The dehumanization, you've got everyone in in Israel right now, not everyone, there's a lot of people protesting there, so respect to them brothers and sisters there. But a lot of casual people just dehumanizing, don't even care what's happening with those children dying. It's exactly the same thing. And that's why not only did he make this movie, because this movie happened, I mean, Gaza, Palestine situation happened for ages, but he made this movie, but then this whole situation happened. And the fact that he expressed that, when I say I recommend it because you need to understand dehumanization, the way he expresses it.
But that's the problem with human beings and the centuries that we've lived on, and people thinking that they are the superior race or human culture, religion. This is what happens, bro. And society has broken it up into those things. When you say you're better than that other person, what does that mean? Well, I'm better than him in this. I'm better than him in that. We are this superior. You know what I mean? That's how fucked up, how brainwashed society and human beings are, and how easily we could be influenced into a different direction. But I suppose the Islamic religion teaches you how to find your deen and your iman in being yourself as well. So you're not meant, you're supposed to invite your neighbors. Doesn't matter where they're from or what they are or what they believe. We're here to spread the message, man. I think people lose that along the way. They genuinely lose that. We've been with even the way we grew up, bro. Reason why we felt out of place is because all we knew about was their history, what they went through. And it makes me a little bit upset that, yeah, we'll get a month or a day or, Bangladeshi this, Independence Day, blah, blah, blah. I wish we were taught all history. And I know you have to take that out of context. We're in somebody else's country. Our parents are the immigrants. So we're going to have to learn their ways. But I genuinely wish I took, like now I will look into it. Now I'll watch videos on our country. Now I'll do things like that. But just, on a larger scale, you got a multicultural class here. There's probably two that's probably the originals. But the rest of us, we're from a different part of something where we don't fit into. And I think that's what they do, is displace us in that sort of way, bro. It's so weird that, like, as I get older, I understand it a bit more and how much they put us out of place and how they're still doing it now, bro. They're still doing it now, even with a guy who is a brown face in Parliament. He's a puppet. He is a puppet. They got you up on there, so you basically, his legacy will be, you're a muppet. You messed up in COVID. You're a muppet. You supported this genocide. You're a muppet. You can't even keep control of what's going on right now. And your cabinet members are racist and all sorts of that. And they're saying, oh, we're the first diverse, looking cabinet members, but they're a bunch of puppets up on there, to be honest. In the background, there's something else happening. That's your legacy. So when you die, that's what people are going to remember you by. Such a shame, bro. And that's what people keep forgetting. Like, you could leave something else so much better for the next generation. And it doesn't have to be money, and it doesn't have to be, you caused this and this and that. We just need to spread a bit more love into humanity. And that changes a lot of things, man. But yeah.
Us regular people, listen,
I'll check it out.
Us regular people are the ones who like, we are connected through social media and new technology and whatnot. We do want to get to know each other. There's so much, us regular people, that's what I'm saying, are the people who are the heroes. But unfortunately, and it's just the way it works, the people in charge are the ones who try to segregate us, who want us to dehumanize people. Like I say, man, the way this movie expresses it, I mean, this word is bad, but it's amazing how he expresses it. But because the history is like, it's horrible. It is horrible. And that's why when he spoke out, all those Zionists, I'm not calling them Jewish because they're not, they're hijacking the religion. All them Zionists were like, oh, this guy, and they're cussing him and they're saying this and that. They were upset that there were not even any Jews in the whole movie. That was the point of the movie. But listen, if he didn't say that speech, they would have loved it. The fact that he said that speech, they were like, oh, he's not even Jewish, he's a disgrace. Listen, he's a real Jewish brother, sister. He's a real Jewish brother. He probably, I don't know how much he follows his faith, but the fact that he probably follows his faith more than any of you Zionists who tried to claim the religion, because he knows human life means more. It means so much, right? So, but there was no Jewish people in the movie. They didn't need to be, because the whole point was about what happens when you dehumanize a bunch of people, and that's what the world does. Oh, we don't care about those Palestinians. That's why you just live your life and everything's cool. You can, you know what I mean? Like, I don't even want to know the Palestinians. They're not, and that's why all that fake news came out in the beginning of October 7th. Now, October 7th happened, and it was horrible. It's horrible. I wish it didn't have to happen that way. But the beheading of babies, which could set people on fire, the rapes, lies. I think there were some cases of rape or something, but the mass thing of it was lies. The babies dying, putting babies in oven, all lies. It's all been debunked. Again, Mandi, man, why I say I forgot his
Monday,
name.
bro. Yeah, Monday, bro.
That dude, he has a whole thing on his new site called debunking of the lies. Anyway, the movie is about the guys. We as regular people will never dehumanize anyone. That's a fact. People in charge, man, the people who you listen to, those are the ones that want you to dehumanize people. Which is why these things happen, man. So great listen. When I say great movie, I'm just a great expression of what happens when you humanize a group of people. That's what it
Exactly.
is. It's tough. Guys, check it out. Zone of Interest, like I said, check it out. But we'll get into some fun stuff in a bit. I know you want to get into it. I watched another one called Poor Things. Also won an Oscar for Best Actress. What's her name?
Emma Thompson.
Emma Stone.
Sorry.
Yeah, Emma Stone. I mean, directed by Yorgos Lanthimos. I can't say his name. Mark Ruffalo's in it. William Dafoe's in it. Bro, I had no idea. Do you know what this movie's about before I talk about it?
Nope.
Bro,
Like
okay,
Frankenstein.
good. Okay, you knew that at least. I had no idea what this movie was about, right? This was a new adaptation of Frankenstein, right?
Okay.
The way I see it, right? Frankenstein that we know was a guy playing God, a scientist, Dr. Frankenstein playing God, putting together a monster from all different, human parts, and this monster belonging in this world, right? Being accepted and whatnot, and kind of in that sense. This is like the same thing, but instead of a monster, we're talking about a beautiful girl and how this beautiful girl is now accepted in this world. Frankenstein was never accepted. He was a monster. This beautiful girl, because of the beauty of her outlook, is accepted in this world. Now, bro, I should not have watched this movie during Ramadan, to be honest, because there's so much Badusi in this movie. Emma Stone went all out and she got that Oscar, man. She went all out with this movie and she got that Oscar. Listen, she was brilliant. Forget the Badusi and whatnot, guys. And again, watch it after Ramadan, or if you don't care about it, just watch it. She was awesome. She was like,
yeah.
I don't know if I don't want to spoil it, but basically, Frankenstein, just think of like, without spoiling it, just she's growing as a human, put it that way, mentally. So as you see that journey of her growing from a baby to an adult mentally, but in a beautiful physical form, you're seeing how she's being accepted because of her physical form, and people not really acknowledging the mental form. She was brilliant. She was brilliant in this movie. She was really, really good. So well done to her. Congratulations, you deserve that Oscar. Mark Ruffalo was awesome in this. Seeing him in a different light was hilarious. Listen, I have to put it out there, guys. It's haram. I shouldn't have watched it in this movie in Ramadan. You got to see Mark Ruffalo's ass. I don't know why. Listen, you see a lot of Emma Stone too. Haram. A lot of folding, a lot of covering the eyes during this time period. Mark Ruffalo, he put his ass out there too. A lot of Badusi in this movie, guys. William Dafoe was amazing in this movie as well. I know I should have watched it. Listen, I had no idea what I was watching. I really didn't know that the movie was going to be like this before I watched it. So it was a mistake watching it during Ramadan. And yes, I know, why don't you just turn it off? No excuses there, to be honest with you. William Dafoe was absolutely amazing in this. Listen, he not to be in a bad way, but he's got a very unique facial structure. And for him to be this mad scientist in this one, his facial structure was, they changed his facial structure, but it complemented him well, if that makes sense. I don't know how to pull it. And listen, a great story, I think, of like I say, of acceptance based on outlook. And also, I have to say in certain things like how men, certain not men, society will accept people based on looks and looks rather than the mind frame or whatnot. And
It's always been like that, though,
it's
bro.
always been like that. But this is a good way. Like I said, this is the opposite of Frankenstein, man. Like Frankenstein was never accepted because of his looks, but he was, if I remember correctly, that Frankenstein monster didn't want to hurt anyone. He was a good human. He was a good person or good.
Yeah, that's right.
Whereas, you know, in this one, Emma Stone's character is not a bad person either, but immediately accepted. Similar brain and all this sort of stuff, and gradually, but immediately accepted because like, oh my god, she's beautiful. Like damn, like imagine Frankenstein is fit. You're like, damn. Imagine Frankenstein was Brad Pitt. You'd be like, oh my god, like I don't care how, you know, you accept him. So that's what it is. That's what it is. The opposite of that. Brilliant, man. She was awesome. She was really good, man. I didn't know. How do I put it? I don't know, like, you know, certain actors and actresses, they surprise you with a performance.
Performance,
Wow.
yeah.
Yeah,
That's
Emma
right.
Stone, Mark Ruffalo, they smashed it. Like, oh, wicked. They freaking deserve it. So worth watching after Ramadan. Like worth watching.
The Ramadans, yes, of course. No, that's cool. I'll check it out after the Ramadans.
Do it. Okay. Let's talk about some fun things, man.
Cool, man.
X-Men 97.
Oof.
X-Men 90. I've only watched episode 1, bro.
Oh,
Listen, I've been talking. You start first. Go.
all right, listen, man. I had an awesome day yesterday watching those 2 episodes. So I split it up during the day, but I watched the first one with Nia and the second one later on in the evening after I broke my fast. But bloody hell, that first episode,
You can spoil the first
I would
episode. Spoiler alerts for the first episode only.
spoiler alerts, man. They went in with the greatest intro ever, which was so good because they didn't even give us a little sneak peek. Did pow? That's it.
Goosebumps. I'm
Yeah.
getting goosebumps thinking about it.
Yeah, bro. They threw us like they didn't give us like a what did they say? You know when they give you an interlude about
Yeah.
the previous, they
Prequel
just
and
went in soundtrack. Pow! You like animation is clean. The X-Men are suffering the loss of Professor Xavier. Uh, and they all had depth in that first episode, bro. Like, did you notice that? Like, you suddenly was like, and people say it's probably nostalgia or something, but we already know these characters. But this episode just hit deep, bro. Like you felt each of their stresses and the pain they're going through, and you know, Magneto coming back, Last Will and Testament. I'm like, you're like, what? Like this, it's just insane how good it was, bro. Like the action scenes were sick, bro. That scene with Master Mode, I was like, I wasn't expecting that to be in the first episode, bro. And I'm starting to see Cyclops, and as he was in the original X-Men, but he's stepping up. He stepped up his game in this one. You know, leadership and how to work things out. Gambit his jokes with his crop top. Uh, we got Rogue back. Storm. Storm is awesome, bro. She looks awesome. Like the animation style. Like they made it look so much more epic. Like on a grand scale. Now you got Morph and Bishop in the intro as well, which is absolutely amazing. Listen, bro, they came back with a bang, bro. They threw us right back from that last episode back in 1997 to now. You know what I mean? Like you're talking about 33 years ago, bro. How old is you 33 years ago, bro?
Well, I'm 39, man. So we're talking about 6 years. Oh my god. That was so long ago. 6 years old I was. No, you said 97. That
No,
can't
no,
be
no, no, no,
33.
no, no, no,
No, I was
97.
11. I was
Yeah, yeah.
97, 85, 86, 87. I was 12, man. We're talking about 33 years ago. You got me. So it can't be 33 years ago, man.
No, so 1992 it started.
Oh, 92.
Yeah.
Then I was 6 years. I was 7 years old.
God damn. That's what I'm saying, bro. I was 11.
Bloody hell. Okay, bro,
I was 11.
can I say there's 3 scenes specifically that gave me goosebumps, and I'm getting goosebumps now thinking about it. First of all, the intro. I was so happy. The smile on my face right now was on my face the whole episode, right?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
So that intro gave me goosebumps. And the new scenes in that intro gave me goosebumps with Bishop and whatnot. Bro, Cyclops. Bro, Cyclops was amazing. You know when the plane blew up and the way he landed? Bro, I'm getting goosebumps the way I'm talking about now. That was amazing. Like Cyclops, the way he landed was the most epic superhero landing of all time. I don't care what
Bro,
anyone said.
standard.
Epic superhero
I think
landing of all time. I don't care. Beats everything, right? And then thirdly, when he introduced Storm at the end, when he goes, give him the forecast. Bro, look at the goosebumps. I can't even look at the goosebumps, bro. I don't know if you can see
the
it.
one-liners, bro. The
Bro,
one-liners
give
smashed
him
it.
the forecast, and then she comes in with this epicness. I mean, the choreo, the advancement, like what I love,
Yeah,
like you said, the animation is the same, but it's very clean. Right? It's just HD quality. But
that's
the
right.
advancement of and what possibly is allowed, I guess, in action these days in cartoons, not that it's violent or whatnot, but the choreographing, the imagination of choreographing has changed completely. And there's just such an epic choreographing of action in this now, which was just amazing. When Wolverine, when Gambit charged up Wolverine's claws and he just chopped off Mastermind's head, I'm like, come on. But those three scenes gave me goosebumps. It gave me goosebumps now talking about it. Wow, bro.
Listen, bro.
Absolutely. I'm
Listen.
gonna watch episode 2 after our podcast, to be honest. I'm gonna skip a bit of work, but I'll catch up later. But oh my god, so good.
You know
And
what? That scene alone, you're right. That has to be the best superhero landing ever. The
yeah, yeah.
best.
But that's our
That is the
short. I'll
best.
put that down as a short. Best superhero landing of all time.
Because I was wondering, like, he was like, bare calm. And I was like, ain't nobody
Who's
got him, man.
getting
What you gonna do? Who's
it?
getting him? The way they dropped that scene, bro. Nia looked at me because I was like, what the hell was that? Because you saw hit the optic blast and when he went down, when it cleared the redness and everything, I was like, holy, that was sick. That was absolutely sick. Bro, yeah, you know what? That was a goosebump moment. Uh Wolverine when he chopped that Master Mold's head, with Gambit, I wish they didn't show that in the trailer now. We would have enjoyed that much more. But I suppose they give us hype for what Cyclops did. And that's exactly what you said.
What Storm
Storms.
did as well.
Storm smashed it.
She's so
She looks
epic, bro.
awesome. They've got this new look to them. It's, a year after Xavier's passed away. And how the dynamics of how they run the X-Men now. And we get introduced to not a new character. We've known him before. Actually, I can't say anything. I was just about to lose there.
Please, brother, please. But now you did spoil something, so now I'm expecting someone to join. It could be that Brazilian dude or the guy.
Well, you keep watching. You
Yeah.
let me know after. Share that clip, bro, one time, bro, because
Best
we've got to
superhero landing
say
of all time.
best superhero landing of all time, definitely, without a doubt. That's like
I got an idea of a short for that one, but yeah, oh my god! Listen, that was so good. I can't wait to watch episode 2. I wish they could just give us that every week forever. To be honest with you, I'm not.
you know
Listen,
what,
I
bro?
want to see X-Men in the real world. Of course, I do in live action. But I'm happy with this. Best Marvel content so far this year. It's only March,
You know
but
what?
we'll wait for
Hundred
next one. We'll
percent.
free.
I'm gonna agree with you there. That like that's some of the best stuff we got in a long time, bro. And you know what? People say it's nostalgia, and some people are not feeling it, and the rest of it. And I'm like, bro, I don't know what world you living on, bro, but that shit was moist.
I love the way Cyclops is able to like they're showing that he can control his beam, so he's just shooting up bare
Yes.
people, but it's not killing him because he can kill him, but he's just got so much. They're showing the control in it. Oh man, he's like my favorite dude right now. Like, bro,
Yeah, bro, he smashed it. Yeah.
episode 1, Cyclops was man of the match. Like he was MVP for me. Um, yeah,
He
he was
earned the respect.
that was good that you just said it. Like he's supposed to be the new leader of the X-Men, kind of, right? Because Xavier is dead. At the end of that episode 1, he does say it's a team thing, but what he did and what they showed in that episode, he earned my. I always liked Cyclops, but after that episode, he earned my love, bro. It's the best superhero landing of all time, fighting amazing with his beams, like giving. But he earned it, like Cyclops, man. I'm a fan, always.
Oh, bro, such a good. Well, I can't wait till you watch episode 2 because episode 2 is. It's like, how do you top something after so long? Like, don't get me wrong, when season 5 came out, animation looked basic, story went all over the place. But to bring it back to the way they have done now, like you've introduced it to, you know, us guys are gonna absolutely adore it, but you're introducing it to a new fan base. Oh, bro, I had a blast, bro. It was sick. Last night, that intro I was watching, I actually watched that. I actually watched them twice yesterday. So first one was in the afternoon, second one after breaking fast, and then I watched them again together. That I wasted not wasted. I enjoyed 2 hours of that epicness, bro. And bro, it's just I'm looking forward to it, bro. You're right. I wish I could get this every day for the next, couple of 100 years. But let's see what happens, bro. But
Well,
yeah,
my
great
guy's looking
episode.
to live for a couple of 100 years.
Yeah,
But
bro, let's
yeah,
do it, bro. Let's do it, bro.
yeah, with the new technology and stem cells and all that sort of stuff, yeah, we might be able to live up to
You
150.
never know, bro. You never know, bro.
Well, listen, guys, from talking about something as epic as X-Men 97, we're going to talk about something as epic fail as Madam Web, because you got a chance to see it. What's your thoughts, bro?
You know what? Let me find the picture. I'm gonna put it up on there. Madame Web. What a bunch of horseshit, bro. That I stuck for last time. It's got me saying the wrong words, man. That movie was horrible, bro. Like, what the hell are Sony thinking? It really made me upset the fact that they have this franchise that they could do really good stuff with, but they're just doing it just to keep the contract with Marvel. Like, when you see that Marvel associated with Marvel screen, Marvel, you need to tell them, like, bro, don't put that up no more, man. Don't put that. This is a script from another movie, and then just added some Spider-Man elements to it. Bro, so bad. So bad. Acting is bad. Scene cuts. You know what? You could see the budget though. Special effects was bad. There was a scene, when she's in the web thing, and that last scene, I felt like, I know this is so bad to say, but I just wanted to drop kick her off the wheelchair.
Any fake ass Professor X, bro, that was so bad.
Like that last scene, that acting scene, like, listen, man, and I don't like bad mouthing movies, and I never have. A lot of creativeness and a lot of hard work goes into this, but she could have saved Day Day, bro. She could have saved Day Day.
Who the hell was Day
She
Day again?
hesitated, man. Day Day from Friday, bro. Next Friday. Day Day was the main chief of the fire brigade, ambulance.
Oh, yeah,
service.
yeah. Who got hit by the car? Yeah, Day Day, yeah.
Day Day got it, man. Day Day. Oh man.
Yeah.
Sack of
Yeah.
potatoes, bro.
I think like I've been watching loads or hearing loads of things like the actor. Now they're saying it because it was a flop. They're like, they were not interested in it. We weren't interested in it. But if that was the fact, you got a whole bunch of people who are not interested in it, who don't like the characters, and then why make it? Why do this movie? I mean,
Paycheck,
listen,
bro. Paycheck. Sony were like,
I
listen,
paid
we need to get
cinema.
this.
I would say, listen, I supported it because comic book movie. I supported it, bro. I gave it a chance.
Sorry. I'm sorry, I couldn't do that.
It was bad.
I have to be valuable with my time. But listen, bro, you know what? I'm not gonna lie. The first couple of 10 minutes, I was interested, because you saw them guys with like the spider kind of weird suits and stuff and helping out and the rest of it. And then suddenly I was like, what the F has this movie turned into? Basically, this movie had 3 different scripts in it from different movies, and they've just mixed and merged it and made it into the movie we got. Horrible, horrible. Sony. Oh man, I don't even know what to say, bro. It was a quite a stressful watch, and I watched it on a Sunday, and I actually gave it my time. I didn't have nothing else to do. I watched it. I did have a little break because I was like, bloody hell, this film is basic. They just didn't have like a premise of where they were going to take this, and then we don't even see the suits, bro. We see it in one 5-second clip. She does a couple of spiderweb things towards the end, and then she get hit in the eye. Spoilers, guy, hit in the eye with the firework in the water. She's blind. Now she can see clearer than she's ever seen before. And then you see all of them at the end, which was such a poor scene, bro.
But they look cringy in their suits. I'm sorry. Like,
Bro.
what's the CW shows? They look better. Bro, they look
The
the
CW
CW
show
shows
especially.
look better than what this looked like. This was bad, bad. They look terrible. They shouldn't even show them in uniform. And
You know
like
what?
you
They
get
shouldn't have.
like again. Yeah, I'm not gonna speak actually. They forced things in this movie. They forced agendas. They forced rubbish. Like the film was bad, bad.
Let's leave it there, bro.
Let's leave it there. Leave it
Let's leave it
there.
there.
All right, guys. All right. Anything else you watch before we move on to the next segment, bro?
No, that was it, bro.
Oh, by the way, Physical 100 season 2 is out. Awesome show. Check that on Netflix. We're watching that.
Shogun.
Shogun.
Sorry.
I just watched episode 3. I'm gonna be watching episode 4. Amazing.
So good. Very good. Very good. So I'm looking forward to the next episode. I'm enjoying that. Nothing else, bro. Nothing else. That's
Alright.
the major thing. Yeah.
Okay, cool. Well, let's move on to quickly what we have read. I read I believe it's issue 4 of
Yeah.
Punisher, Joe Garrison. I think it looks like it's the end. I don't know if there's issue 5. I don't know if it's going on. It looks like it's the end. Listen, I heard that Frank Castle's coming back. Obviously, that's what we want. There's been a lot of hate on this guy, Joe Garrison. What I'm disappointed on, listen, I read it. I appreciate it. I don't know why it's the Punisher. I know it says different man, same mission. The mission's not the same. Frank Castle, we know him. We know the traumas that he's gone through. We know the mission that he got is the war on streets. And ultimately, Joe Garrison, his mission turns into avenging people that's been hurt, basically, right?
Okay.
His mission is he doesn't want to be the guy who just looks away from when bad things happen. His mission in this comic is a revenge story, right?
All right.
It's because of his family. Like when Frank Castle's family died, yes, there was revenge, but he declared war on streets, not just for him and his revenge, but he thought about everyone. He tried to cleanse the whole streets so no one else has to suffer. I know people don't like his philosophy of killing and whatnot, and I don't agree with that too either. It depends on the person. I don't know. But remember, Frank Castle set a war on the streets that anyone who does something bad, you don't come back and you cannot hurt someone once, twice, or again. You can't, whatever. Joe Garrison's story felt like it was just a revenge story. And from moving on, because at the end, it finishes with this corporation called Jigsaw. And again, I thought that was a bit like, come on, you could be a bit more creative with the name. Like you don't have to pick Jigsaw because a Jigsaw Punisher's enemy or whatnot. So it's this group called Jigsaw, and they had this kind of like poison that this fearmonger person made, which basically put fear in people or brings up their adrenaline, so they just attack each other. Basically, they don't want peace, right? So when certain countries are trying to make peace, which I think it was Bulgaria and Slovenia or something like that, they wanted them to attack each other. So they, that was their mission. They don't want peace in the world. Anyway, listen, I wish, in my opinion, if you wanted to introduce a new Punisher, you should have given us more backstories. Why did you pick the Punisher story? What respect or don't respect do you have for Frank? Don't ignore Frank. Yes, have your revenge story. What's your war on the streets? If it's not the war on the street, what is your mission? Like, because this was just a revenge mission. If you're trying to help people, then do it. If you're going to do what the Punisher does in a very unethical way of just killing people, then talk about that. Why? Are you traumatized about that? Like, they didn't give us none of that. So that's why I got no relationship with Joe Garrison. I mean, you are literally a filler, and I think that's what it is anyway. You are literally a filler. Also, what was I gonna say? Yeah, like that's I guess that's it, man. I mean, look, the writers and whatnot, and the artwork, I don't want to shit on disrespect any of that sort of stuff. I'm just saying it's hard when you're trying to replace Frank Castle as the Punisher. You could do that with anyone. If you're gonna do that, like honestly, if you're gonna do that in comic books, in the real world, or in live action, you have to do it with Frank. I think it's like not Frank training anyone, because Frank will never do that, because Frank would never want to pass on his philosophy, because especially now, Frank knows what he's doing is wrong, but he's already gone too far. He will never pass it on to one. The best way to do it is someone that goes through trauma. And I'm talking like, you got to tell us the story of this individual's trauma and build it up while you're telling a Frank Castle story. And this guy almost idolizes Frank because of the trauma he's got through, not idolizing because he's like, oh, he's my hero, he's doing the right thing. It's the trauma that pushes him to do it. Someone who has values as a good human being, but obviously based on traumas, he's doing horrific things and killing bad guys. You know what I'm trying to say? You gotta build him up with Frank, you know, and you've got to give us that backstory. If you just make a story like this, it just looks like a revenge story. I don't know why you called yourself the Punisher. Don't make no sense.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I don't know if this is carrying on because it looks like it ended with him just finishing off the mission and driving off and just saying the mission of like, I'm going to avenge people that need to be avenged and blah, blah, blah. Listen, you can bring Frank Castle back in the next episode or next issues to be like, all right, Joe, like, goodbye. I'll take over again. But listen, that's my thoughts. Again, I'm a Punisher fan, which is why I spent the money and I spent the time to read these comics. Even with Joe Garrison and people were hating on him in the flops, and when I had to be the judge of that, I'm not saying it's I'm not going to show on it. I'm just going to say I want Frank back for sure. But if they bring back more Joe Garrison, I'll read him. But it's hard. You can't deviate away from Frank without a good backstory of someone. So that's just my thoughts
No, of course, bro.
on this series of the Punisher. So anyway. Moving on. Did you read anything? Anything else you've read?
Just the Quran, bro. Sorry, I shouldn't say that. The Quran. I'm reading that on a daily basis. So I'll get back to reading again once we kind of slot in some more time. There is something I've got here that I wanted to go through. It's called Firepower, which is written by. Where's it gone? Created by Kirkman, is the writer of Invincible. So, and it's about this guy who learns martial arts in this Buddhist temple, and then, you know, just trying to find his way. I read the first couple of pages when I got it, but I want to read the rest of it. So hopefully I'll start on that. But other than that, nothing much, brother.
All right, cool. Well, let's move on, and we'll finish up quickly. So we've got some Star Wars news. The Acolyte trailer came out, and you reacted it. Guys, check out the trailer reactions on the channel. What did you think? I saw the trailer. It looked pretty good. I mean, when you get a bunch of Jedis, and it's obviously the death of all the Jedis, right? And they're being hunted.
I think this is going back 100 years before A New Hope.
Oh, I see. Okay.
So we're going back in time. So I don't know much about it. This is going to be new to us. Let's see how it goes. The trailer looks awesome. I need more information though. I do need to read up on it a little bit. I think that's but I know my Star Wars fans are all loving it, bro.
Yeah, awesome. Well, that's cool. The other Star Wars news I had was Rogue Squadron is now back on track according to the Wonder Woman director. So I think that was a movie that they were supposed to make, so that's back on track. All right, cool. That was the Star Wars news I had. That was some Star Wars stuff. So guys, check out the trailer reactions on the channel. Let's move on to other movie news. I should have mentioned this earlier in regards to trailers that came out. We done the Aliens from Romulus reaction. Check it out. That trailer looks pretty good. Maybe it's a teaser, you know. Let's see what they do. I think if they can bring the element back, I didn't speak about it much on the trailer reaction, but if they can bring the element back of horror movie, then you know.
It looked like it though, didn't it?
Yeah, it did. It did.
Had that feel.
It came to me after I watched it, and I didn't speak about it on the reaction. But let's see. This is the first one under the Disney umbrella. Let's see how they redo it. The other trailers was City Hunter. Done the reaction for that one. I know him from the Jackie Chan movie. Someone commented and gave a good history on that. Shout outs to you.
It's an anime. It's based on a manga comic book.
I know the anime, or I don't know the anime. I know it comes from an anime, but there was other adaptations that this individual was telling me. I was like, Stripes, thank you for giving that history. Of that. But yeah, it looks good, looks fun. What other trailers came out, bro? That was it, right? Oh, Furiosa.
Yes, Furiosa came out as well.
Another trailer.
Which was really good. I'm looking forward to that. That looks awesome, bro. I mean, Mad Max is one. Mad Max Fury Road is probably one of my favorite films in the past 20 years. It is just an absolute awesome movie. It's a chase movie, and you put me in that chase. I'm looking forward to the next chase, bro.
Exactly. Some great trailers came out, man. So guys, check out, keep an eye out the channels, Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, all the other ones that the reactions are there. Take a look. All right, other movie news stuff. This is a good one. Dr. Dre was honored with the star on Hollywood Fame of Walk of Fame, sorry. So
Yep.
legend,
Awesome.
legend in the hip hop game, NWA, just legendary producer, just done tracks with the who's who of hip hop.
Exactly.
Really goes down as a legend of hip hop. So shout outs to him. Love Dr. Dre. All right, we got our new Bond, apparently. Aaron Taylor Johnson.
It's
Oh,
not confirmed.
not confirmed. Okay.
It's just a rumor. Not a rumor. He's been offered the role. We don't know if he's taken it yet.
Okay. What do you think of him as Bond?
Bro, he's a very versatile actor. I think he can play it well. I've seen his catalogue of movies. He's really good at what he does, bro. I mean, Bullet Train, I love the way he is in that as well. But then he's done his horror films, he's done his serious films. We'll always know him as Kick-Ass.
Yeah, I was going to say that.
But listen, man, he's grown. He looks the part. You know what I mean? He looks the part. So, good on him if he goes for it.
I agree. I think they'll do it. With Bond, I don't think there is a look. Because you got the Pierce Brosnan look, then you have the Daniel Craig look, right? You know what I mean? But I would say as an MI5 secret agent, as an MI6 secret agent, that's kind of what he is. I think a badass guy, a badass looking dude. Like, you know what I mean? Like that's what I visualize as a secret agent, MI6 dude. But I think Aaron Johnson and Taylor, what's his name? Aaron
Taylor
could
Johnson,
do a great job. I think he'll do a great job. And I think if you just take away what James Bond could possibly look like in regards to should he look aggressive? Should he look suave? He's got all of that. He's got all of that. So he could be all of that. So that's pretty cool. I mean, I like him as an actor. I really do. So if he takes it, I reckon he'll do a great job with that. So
all the best, man. I think he'll be awesome.
Definitely.
Definitely. So
all right. Finishing off real quick, Scarlett Johansson to take over the Jurassic Park franchise, apparently. So I don't know. But yeah, I don't know how much more you're going to do with Jurassic Park, but okay. J.K. Simmons says he would never play Omni-Man in a live-action Invincible, and I think he's just being humble. He said something about Omni-Man should not be a 60-year-old man. No, I think someone younger should play the part, and I think he's just being humble. He's the great voice of the animation. If they was to do a live-action, that's the question. And if they was, then pick a younger man, and as J.K. Simmons just being humble with himself, even though he's hench, because he works out great. You see the way he looks, he works out good. So shout outs to him. All right. Any other movie news I might have missed that you might have thought? I was gonna move on.
Here's me checking our page for any recent updates.
Oh, I'm surprised you put Scarlett Webb in Madam Web in the thumbnail picture. I would have said, you know what?
Let's waste people's times.
I know if you know what, if I can make a recommendation, if you could put Zone of Interest instead, I think if I can make a recommendation.
I think we get the click from madameweb, bro.
We'll get a click, yeah? Doing it for the clicks. All right. Well, all right, moving on real quick. Quick update for video games. Not that I follow it as much as Ash and whatnot, but bro, this Marvel 1943 Rise of Hydra.
Sick.
Bro, that looks amazing, bro.
Really good, bro. Really. I'm actually surprised on how good it is.
Bro, I might get this game. I had no idea that they were making this, but when I saw the trailer and the graphics, I was like, I'm in. I'm sold. I wonder how the gameplay is going to be, but bro, check. I'm going to tell Ash to do a review, a trailer reaction, actually.
He should do, because that one's actually really good, bro.
Bloody hell, it looked good. I'm going to tell Ash to do a trailer reaction, so check that game out. All right, guys, finishing off. Favorite part of the segment, I have to say, of the show. Retro movie reviews, and this week we're going to review The Crow 1994, Brandon Lee, directed by Alex Proyas. Now, I watched this in respect. I watched this because trailer of the new Crow came out last week. So I was like, out of respect, I'm going to watch the original. Because people are shitting all over the new one and whatnot. I had my thoughts as well. But I wanted to watch the original one just to get a reminder. Bro, That movie is awesome. Bro, if you watch it again, but it's so good as a comic book movie and as an origin story of a comic book. It's brilliant. Just the visuals, the city, the darkness, constant rain. But there was no origin, there was no backstory. Which this is a perfect, amazing example of a story where you didn't need a backstory. Something horrific happened to this individual and his wife in the beginning. So messed up that you didn't need a backstory of Brandon Lee's character, Eric Draven, of like, oh, I want to know what his background was and how he became. No, something so horrific happened that you're like, man, revenge needs to happen. And then the crow, gives his soul. The soul is obviously interrupted and he can't go into the other world, so it comes back to him. I did not need to know anything about Eric Draven. Yes, they give us little clips. He was a rock star and whatnot. He met this girl. He was in love with her and whatnot. Cool, little snippets. Bro, you didn't have to waste 30 minutes, 45 minutes. This was a perfect example of like, you start the movie with something so horrific, you're just like, I want revenge. And you get that throughout the movie. And the visuals were amazing. The story was great. So I know you're going to jump in. The costume design, sorry, also his acting, I have to say, I think this was supposed to be his breakout movie. Unfortunately,
It was.
he passed away in this movie in a horrific incident on that scene. And I have to say, that scene at the end, I don't know if Christopher Nolan was influenced by this, but that was 100%, in my opinion, reminiscent of the Joker scene in The Dark Knight. The way all the gangsters are sitting on that table and randomly the Eric Draven Crow walks in and he just says, hello, gentlemen. And he sits on the table, legs crossed, and just looking at all of them. It just reminded me of the Joker coming in, just saying, hello, gentlemen. And it was just, I don't know if Christopher Nolan, it was a tribute. I have no idea if there's any connection or whatever. But my God, it was just so similar. And I'm not going to say Christopher Nolan stole it because Joker and that scene was just amazing in itself. But that was so reminiscent of that. I think it set a sort of premise of that scene. It was amazing, bro. That movie, brilliant. And the way it ended, brilliant. No need for sequels. The soul is rested now. Move on. Now, yes, this movie could be a new soul. I don't know if they do it, if this is called a remake, but maybe it's a new soul because the story is the crow. If there's a soul that's interrupted, then it needs to fix things. So if it's a remake of this new one, then maybe that's a mistake calling it a remake. Maybe it's just like a new soul has been interrupted and you need to show that story. Maybe that could be, so you can separate it. Anyway, what do you think? Do you remember much of the original one? And you were going to say something.
I love the original one, bro. It's like one of my favorite films. So this is a remake. They're calling him Eric Draven. The remake that's coming out with Bill Skarsgård, which, bro, the trailer looks still good, bro. And if you listen to people's comments and reading, if you're a fan of it, if you look at the original comic books, he does look like the Bill Skarsgård's character. Only Brandon Lee made that look become canon in the comic books as well. So it's amazing that a film can start off a comic book with changing the looks of how it looks. But he looks more like Bill Skarsgård's character. People always quick to jump on conclusions of, yes, it looks like, and it does, because it's what's been pushed into our face. Anyway, listen, bro.
Is that what you meant? What was you going to say? Yeah.
So it happens. We're always going to compare. It's the first thing I said when I saw it. I was like, Joker. But then I looked at some of the people's comments and I looked back at some of the comic books and the artwork because I've only seen the artwork that looks like Brendan Lee. So, rest in peace. Probably one of his best it is one of his best performances. Tragic what happened. Insanely tragic, bro. But the film is beautiful, bro. It has this somber tone to it, which is, you don't get that in movies now because they look so clean, so fresh. Like you can see every detail. I'm starting to get away from all of that now because that's why I think I love those movies from the 80s and 90s was the look of it. You can't replicate that. Like in a comic book, when you look at those, I was reading Invincible Iron Man the other day. That's for something I read. And you look at the pages and you're like, you can see the orange in the page because it's from the 1970s. And then you look at another comic book where it's nice and clean and pristine. But then you look at another comic book and you see the yellow tones and the green tones. And you don't get that in movies no more. I think the last movie that represented that was The Matrix, where it had that green tone to it, where now everything's so clean and looks up front. But listen, the story of Eric Draven and what he went through, movies don't, like when I said I was going to jump in, was movies don't just give you some effed up beginning and get you into it now. They seem to need to explain everything to you. And I don't really enjoy that, bro. That's why the Alien Romulus trailer reminded me something of what Ridley Scott did originally with Aliens was, oh my God, like I'm scared. Like that's made me jump. Like I hope we don't need to get all of that Prometheus and flute playing business that Jakub loves.
Never gonna let that
Excuse
flute
me.
go in it.
Never, bro. Angry Android, man. Created Xenon. I don't need to know that, bro. But this is what I'm saying. We didn't need to know about what the Crow. Like if I read the comic books, I think I'd understand it more in the background of, but they gave us the main things that we needed in the film, that it was a tragic soul that can't cross over to the other world because he has unfinished business in this world. It's a great revenge story, bro. And done in such a really cool way, because remember that scene when he shoots him through the hand and how pranked that other guy got. Like, you've got these iconic scenes in this film, bro. He looks the part, bro. I've drawn him a couple of times. Great soundtrack, bro. Like, really put you in the mood, innit? Like, and that line, man, it can't rain all the time. Like, it's probably one of my favorite things. Like, I've been struggling with my mental health for a long time, and speaking with people. Shout outs to Alan who got me that pin that says it can't rain all the time, and it's true. Like we cloud that line. What I take from it is we drown ourselves in rain with all the pressures of life. There are gonna be moments that he had with his wife when he met his wife. Those memories that he went through that kept him going, and that's what we forget in our society, is that we have some great memories. We get stressed, we get, you know, taken over by the rage of the society and the pace we move in life. And the moments when it doesn't rain are those moments that we should be cherishing more. And those happen every day, because when I'm not talking about physical rain, but I'm talking about metaphorically how our minds work, how we can't switch off. But he had those moments of good memories that was like, there's a reason why I'm doing this and the reason why I keep going. And then, as you said, towards the end, hopefully, he had peace. And there was other Crow movies that came out after, but nothing will beat what that movie represented. So remember, guys, it can't rain all the time. But what a great film, bro! Cult classic, 100% cult classic. It's one of those ones, bro.
Yeah.
Yeah, just Brandon Lee was amazing in that film, man. When you see sheer potential of where he could have went and what he could have done. He did his martial art movies, tried to take his dad's thing. This was the first movie where it wasn't that, and
And
you're
this
like,
this is
wow.
what I meant when I feel like it was a breakout performance for him, because like you could see the emotions that he went through. You could see how he can become the heartless revenge monster he had to in front of the bad guys, but in front of the little girl, in front of the memories that he was getting about his wife or his loved one. Like you could see the emotions in his face. Brendan does an amazing job, bro. Amazing. And you're just kind of like, man, that's Bruce Lee's son. And that's the route that he was gonna take. Like his acting career was just gonna shoot up. And it's so tragic that that scene happened, or what happened in that scene. And to be honest, at some point I was looking out for Mark Dacascos, and I couldn't really tell. They've done a great job in regards to production and whatnot. And I'm kind of glad they released it, because this is a great legacy for Brendan Lee. I would say great legacy movie for Brandon Lee. But yeah, I thought he had a great performance. And this movie's like with the one-liners and the early 90s sort of one-liners. I was
So
gonna
hold up, bro. Mark Dacascos.
didn't he
No, he did a Crow. It was a different movie, but I don't think he was
oh
at the end.
okay, my bad. I always had this impression after Brandon Lee died, they finished it off with Mark Dacascos. No, maybe
Oh,
I'm wrong. Maybe I'm wrong. Um, Ernie Hudson was in it as a police officer.
yes, that's right. Yeah.
Yeah, he was awesome. Um, yeah, great. Well, it's just brilliant. I really immediately I was like, man, I'm in. I haven't seen it in such a long time, and immediately I was like, man, like I'm in, and I can't wait for the revenge to happen on these people. And the movie starts off so well, and it sets the tone of the movie
Sets the
immediately.
tone of the film. So good.
So good.
Absolutely great movie. Good one to rewatch again. I do watch that, once a year because it has, as I said, it has this somber tone to the film. Uh, and love, man. Love, man. What it
Love.
can do and what it can, for in the right context, what it can do to take something away like that. Like what would somebody do? And people keep telling me, bro, like what would you do? Man, I'm gonna kill your ass, man. Sorry. If anybody tries to take that type of love away from anybody, because that's what the only reason why we're here, bro. Man, I've become the Punisher. That's guaranteed. It's gonna be hard. It's a hard one, bro. But I love that. It's a great revenge story, but a great story about love as well, bro.
I mean,
Awesome.
ultimately, I think that's that's the the premise, the point of the movie, like love.
Mm.
It's Yeah, no, bro, I'm so happy I watched it. So happy I watched it. Rest in peace again, Brandon Lee. Guys, if you haven't watched the original, check it out. When I say original, you can go back and read the comics, of course, but watch the Brandon Lee version and don't be too harsh on the new one coming out. Give it a chance. Don't forget, it's going to be a revenge story. It's going to be great action. You can enjoy it fast. And you saw the trailer. It's going to be very bloody and gory. And if you like that kind of action, if you like the John Wick style, I'm not saying it's going to have that, but I'm sure there's going to be a big improvement and of choreographing of action.
It will be.
So,
It will
so
be. It'll
guys,
be different.
give it a chance. Yeah, give it a chance before you want to. And you know what? Go back and watch the Brandon Lee one. Go back and watch your comics. Read your comics, sorry, and then watch this one. If you don't like it, at least you got the other ones. But give it a chance because I'm interested. I can enjoy. Listen, I can enjoy and appreciate a good revenge story, and I could definitely appreciate the artistic style of choreographing and action and I'm not saying blood and guts, but you know what I mean. When it's put in art is on the screen, like John Wick, for example, you can appreciate that and be like, oh, that's sick, that's amazing. So guys, give it a chance. Watch the original. Yeah, man. I mean, that's all I had on it, bro. Just amazing movie, amazing cult classic.
Yeah. No. Awesome. I think that's it for me, bro.
That's it. All right, guys. Well, look. Anything else keep us cover before we call it a day?
No, I think that's it, bro. I gotta wake up the little one and give her lunch and
All
some
right,
medicine.
guys. Cool. Well, look, we'll leave it there, guys. Thanks again for all the love for the people who we haven't been censored against or whatnot. Thanks for the love. Thanks for the subscribers. Guys, show love. Do like and subscribe or share the content at least because we're being censored and whatnot. But appreciate it. Check the channel for the podcast clips, for the shorts, the reactions, the gaming stuff, all that sort of stuff. And we'll catch you on the next week. Peace.
Listen, guys. One love. Peace.